Hello, welcome to the program ACUs on ABS Radio and Television. I am Eze Aomuchi. The impact of the rainy season on human beings and the environment can be both positive and negative. The rains can rejuvenate the soil, replenish water bodies, etc., but can also cause soil erosion, damage to infrastructure, loss of property, and life. Now that the rainy season has begun, how prepared are we to protect ourselves as well as the environment? So, on issues today, we shall discuss protecting ourselves and the environment during rainy season. And of course, we have in the studio Dr. Azubike Nkala, Head of Department Mass Communication, Paul University. Dr. Welcome to the program.
Thank you very much. It's my pleasure to be here.
We also have Chief Kadayo Chukwu Obidibo Ozuome Noka, former Rotary President of UNICEF, UNICEF North, and of course a public affairs analyst. You're welcome, Ozuome.
Thank you very much for having me.
Right, let's look at the two seasons, rainy season and dry season. Okay, rainy season, when dry season. Oh, kind of rainy season. You didn't get rainy season and dry season. Dog.
Yes, the seasons are made by God for specific purposes. The rainy season is for farming, for afforestation, for planting of food, mainly for agricultural purposes, and also is a part of the climate change situation. I think we will come to that later. That is the greenhouse effect. That is the rainy season. It is when the rains are on the ground, creating good and then creating bad. Erosions have created so many bad things. Then also rain has watered the soil and made agricultural production very good. So it is a potpourri. It is something like sadness and joy. But then the joy is more in the areas of the rainy season because the weather in terms of the health of the human person is better under the rainy season. Then when you talk of the dry season is a season that starts from about October and lasts from October, November, December, January, February, and then at the entrance of March, then the dry season ends. We found out that during the dry season, anywhere you cannot enter before under the rainy season, you can enter. The foliages, that is the vegetation will be over. The wildfire, that is ọkụ na-agba agụ, ọkụ gbacha everywhere. Then you find out that ebe afọ ide abanwu na during the rainy season, ị ga-abanwu. For people who have a lot of lands, it's only during the dry season that they go into the land, explore the land, find out the extent of their land, and then do the surveying of their land. So the dry season is good, okay? And the rainy season is also good. All of them are the things that fertilize the environment to make the living of the human species on the earth very, very good. In fact, the two seasons are good.
Good, because they are made of God. They are made by God.
They are made by God.
Thank you very much, Dr. Azubike Nkala. Chief Ozuome, Chief Kadayo Obidibo, it seems that we are more afraid of the rainy season than the dry season. Maybe for us now than maybe our business.
Wow, I think Nigeria is a country blessed with going to seasonal conditions. In other climes, they have about 4 seasons that they all go through. You have the summer, which is like a dry season. You have the winter, which is the cold weather. And you have the autumn, which is a bit cool and a bit hot. Then you have the spring. The spring welcomes the summer. So now, in Nigerian situation, we are blessed. Only two, kind of weather. And like you rightly asked, why are people so afraid of the rainy season? Yeah, rainy season comes with a lot of devastations as a result of our nature in this country, because some other countries are very proactive in checking the weather. Not that weather is God, you can't stop it, but there are some, technical ways of actually trying to control the devastations of weather. Like the rainy season in Oka, for instance, because I'm from Oka, Charity Mutual Home, it does a lot of havoc. That is why today I doff my cap for His Excellency, the Governor of Anambra State, that in one ward, the most populous ward in Nigeria, with 27 polling units, flood has ravaged this particular ward so badly over the years. And none of these governors have actually thought about checking the erosion. In other words, in geographical terms, we say the agencies of derivation. They are washing, our roads are terribly harassed with erosion, that houses are submerged. I wish this is a television interview, I would have shown you an upstairs that is so submerged up to the decking level. And a new road by His Excellency has been built. When I mean building a road, I mean building a road to world standard, that people now drive with euphoria and we are now checking the pump because accident could happen with the euphoria of good road. So rainy season has its own part, but at the same time, if there is no rain, family will check it. There will be hunger in the land. So to me, it is the good part of it is that people must be fed. Countries who don't have rain, like Libya, they are spending so much money in irrigation. Israel, they are one of the best water engineers we have in the world because of their prospect in irrigation. So Nigeria is blessed with the rainforest. We are blessed that we don't have to fertilize our land when it is raining. Like you rightly said, there are some virgin forests in this country. There's vegetation that has not been actually disturbed by human. And you talked about the climate change. The climate change is another area. The Green Revolution that was going on, we have seen that the climate change is being caused by the fume of carbon monoxide from vehicles. So they went up there to disturb the ozone layer and what we call the CFC, the chlorofluorocarbon. So these are things that comes with it. And without the rain, like all of us know, it has doused the tension of heat. Because we don't have energy, continuous energy, that your air conditioning, your fan will be working. But now, because of the rain, everybody sleeps with our 2 eyes closed. No fanning, the local fan was even in vogue now and is selling. So what I'm trying to say is that dry season, yes, go and make dry season and make the rainy season. And I'm happy in Nigeria we don't have snow. Regions that have snow goes through terrible time trying to plow the roads. Sometimes it's not possible. You can't go to work. Then you can imagine if the snow falls on the ground. And then tell me how will even the grass grow. So there are some benefits of both seasons. But to me, rainy season is good, otherwise we will not have food.
The program is issues on ABS radio and television, and today we are discussing protecting the environment, protecting ourselves and the environment during rainy season. We're in the house with Dr. Azubike Nkala, Head of Department of Mass Communication, Paul University, Oka, and of course Chief Kana Yoshiko Edibo, public affairs analyst, and of course former Rotary President of UNICEF. Right. And before we continue, we had an interaction with Mr. Commissioner for Environment, Dr. Felix Imevi, as regards protecting ourselves and the environment as the rainy season sets in.
Every year we experience seasonal periods. We have the dry season, we have the rainy season, we have the harmattan. But at every point in time, as a ministry, we'll always be abreast of what happens within the period at that time. First and foremost, last year, because of the proactive measures undertaken by the government of Anambra State, led by Professor Charles Chukwuma, in intervening by desilting of drainages, which led to a reduced flooding in 2023. In fact, for the first time in over 10 years in Anambra State, flood water, rainwater, was able to pass through the drainage channels into Wangene and down to River Niger, and we experience zero fatalities. At every point in time, whenever there is rains to come upon us, we must be ready. In February 20th this year, the Ministry of Environment issued a public notice informing the people that the rains will soon come upon us. The letter was addressed to all stakeholders in Anambra State, the traditional rulers, the president generals, the school proprietors and proprietaries, the church leaders, and even the common citizens and market leaders, informing them that, one, they must proactively become involved by making sure that the drainages in front of their houses, the gutters in front of around their premises, are free of any encumbrance, so as to ensure free flow of water. So, and that instruction or directive was given for a period from 23rd of February to 15th of March, ensuring that everybody everywhere in the state will do the needful. According to the public health law, owners of properties, according to the law, are mandated by the law to make sure that the drainages in their houses are free of any debris, and to ensure that those drainages have free flow of water. So that directive that we issued was to let the people know that the state will enforce that law to the letter, making sure that any defaulter, any person who is found wanting of not being able to abide by that law, to ensure that the drainages are free of encumbrance, will be dealt with. And as we speak, most of the markets have begun their own campaign on the silting of gutters and drainages in their premises. A couple of weeks back, the state government sealed Wambo market at Opiweka and the adjoining market, the True Site market, because we saw that the drainages were filled up and they were not doing anything about that. So the moment we sealed those markets, the owners of the markets and the market leaders went into action and then cleared every debris in those drainages. When other markets learned that the state government started enforcing, all of them queued in and started deserting.
Dr. Felix Adumevu, Mr. Commissioner for Environment, telling us, giving us update, and of course the measures the state government is taking to make sure that the gutters are desilted. The program is still issues on NBS radio and television. We are discussing protecting ourselves and the environment during rainy season. Of course, the rainy season has set in. But Doc, the environment seems very sensitive during rainy season because of floods which cause erosion. What measures should we put in place for protection? My government, my individual.
Yes, you see, the problem of flooding during the rainy season is basically man-made. It is an artificial intervention by human society. You see, in terms of urban planning, from its originality, the water corridors are identified by urban planners. And when these water corridors, that's natural water corridors and river courses and stream courses, that is from where they move from and from where they go to. In terms of urban planning, the environmental architectures normally respect those water corridors and they don't build on those water corridors. So you find out that as urban environment is springing up, the water corridors takes in the floods, the gullies takes in the flood. Then the ones that cannot be taken by these natural water corridors, then the government, because it is the government that plans the environment, the government will now use the issue of gutter. That is channeling of the water that comes from the corrugated iron roofs. Because once you build a building and then you use zinc to cover it, you find out that every drop of water that drops on that zinc gets to the ground immediately. With force. And if you have what you call this crating, our people have begun to use concrete to create their floors. When water drops from the zinc, it drops on a hard concrete, so it cannot dry into the ground. So the only remedy is for that water to be channeled into the gutters. So when it is channeled into the gutters, then the human intervention should not be allowed to block those gutters. Okay? But that is the problem we have in our urban environment. Because our people don't know how to manage their refuse system. They don't know how to manage the litterings that comes out. Today, you have all these plastic things. You know, when Nigeria established the petrochemical industry, they didn't envisage the problem of plastics. They did not. Because if they had, they would have also at the same time established recycling plants. So that when Coca-Cola uses the petrochemical plastics and then when people throw it away, a recycling plant picks it up again and then recycles it again. So you find out that the society the environment will be protected. But today, sachet water leaders are everywhere. Every plastics are everywhere. And our people, because they don't have the habit of living in urban environment, once the rain starts coming, you see people carrying refuse of 2 to 3 years, and they'll be pouring it into the water channels. And when they do, it goes and blocks the water channels. And that is why when these water channels are blocked, it begins, nature and water, they always find space. If they can't find space in already created channels, then they will come over and begin to fight the human being. And they begin to fight the buildings that produce them. That's why you have building collapses. That's why you have roads, well-built roads, being devastated by erosion. That's when you begin to have children coming back from school and being carried by erosion. So can you see, our people don't manage our environment because the attitude of urban development happened to our people by circumstance. It happened to our people by in a hurry. Our urban environments, majority of them were created in a hurry. And because they were created in a hurry, then water channeling was not properly done. And also, our habit of urban environment is very awful. People will see a water corridor, then they will go and spend their money and buy that water corridor and build a 3-story building on top of that water corridor. When the water comes, it's not going to respect that 3-story building. It will not. What it will do is that if it hits it this way and hits it the other way, if you can't push it down, then it will begin to dig the foundation. And if you leave it over the years, the flood will dig down the foundation and then pull the 3-story down. Water doesn't respect human being. So it is for human being now to sit down and plan and channel the water movement so that it will help to protect the environment. So what we say in essence to our people, especially in Awka, is that people should learn the attitude and character of living in urban environment. Let them not push their refuse into the gutter because they are creating death trap for themselves and their children.
Yes, not issues. Protecting the environment, protecting ourselves. Each of our money, each of our no. As I was, I was asked one.
This is the one where I go. Oh, no, if you know what I say, but also not also. Where I want, I'm not after that. No, that's one. No, I'm this. Also, I can't get a solution there. When I young Milizono, I don't want to go in the Papa. Also, no, yes. Well, the problem, get us about this. Now we get I get them, now controller for environment, TC or CASAP, MD as well. Now, Orishi Muse, go to water. And we didn't make a shop. Let's see the shop by the it's more than announcement. No, we tell you, Manamia was on the Paco, with that story, no, Kalabova, my bush, very good. Kalabova, my bush, that I go to Washington. So when I don't know, it is where I will not have a will look at one season. Now, so I know. All the way, it is where what you put and also now we get club down. All the way give me many I will know what's it. Was it our is past there? mmiri aka ya nwanne maazị ọ ga-eje
esu
ma ọ gwa ma gotara ndụ na-egwu ọma gotara ndị ya tụnarọ kewu maka ịma na mara ya eziokwu ọnụ ọ ga-egwu ebe amaghị ezigbo eme ọ na ọrụ uche na amara n'oge tufu agbakọrọ na-egwu ụzọ n'owu maka ndị ọrụ ya ezi aka ebe ya gwụ ya ọlụgbọ nwanyị na nke na sita ndụ ọtụrụ mmiri ba so no mmejọ ịkpara ya n'ihu na-egwu ọ na-anụ ka ọnụ nwanne nwoke n'olu n'ugbo ezugbo gbara asụ gbara obodo ego onye ọtọ obodo ego so na ndụmọdụ na-enye ileba na ring road ma ọ na basis na-ejepụta anyị mara agbata n'ile a na-ekwu ndị ọra kpochigota kpuchi ụlọ ọbụla ekpochi ndị ọbụla agwata ahụ ọrụ ọ ga-ekwu nume unu kpochepụta mgbe unu na-eji agachi mmanụ ụda anaghị enwe ike nji agachi gbapụpụta ya ọkarịa dụba nke gachi agachi adịkwa ọbụla mobere ndị zụra ọbụla ka anyị ba tosena
Ndị na-ekpofutechi ọ nwere nke ọma ọkwa na ebe a na-eme n'ebe Okelike Street. Iwu ga-esi ewu onye zakọ nyakwuo. Ya ọ gaghị ibe unu ga-eme anya ya ọnụ n'ụlọ anyị. Nyere ndị gọọmenti aka ka unu nyere onwe unu. Mgbe dọkụ na-ekwu okwu, o kwuru na ime ọbụla mmiri ọbụla sụchiri ime ọbụla wee na-achọ ka o mebie ihe n'ọgwụ nwaanyị. Mana nke ka nke ya jụrụ anyị sị eme alụmọ nwaanyị karịrị. From ndị ichie wee ruo na ebe ahụ jededebe ebe a na ọrịachi. So look at there when it comes to one that said there's no place like that in Anambra. And the other guy, he has painted the curves. And he has marked the road. By him, he can watch.
Yes. I just have to commend Professor Soludo. He's an academic like us.
Yes.
And the difference between academic and the other professional is that we do research. Yes, we do research. We conduct research before you begin to do any work.
Yes.
It is the outcome of the research using the facts generated by the respondences that will help you now to come out with a solution. He is doing it all in here now in Anambra State. You know, Canada, even maybe over 30 years, you got 2 years more 4 years. So this is on a dry. Even for Brazilian, you're gonna in hey, senior Naka. Onye na-enyere gọọmenti aka bụ onye na-enyere onwe ya aka. Ọ bụrụ na mmiri zoro ibuzi nleta refuse bịa na Gota na onye na Gota. Ndị be anyị emezinye and the only thing government nwere ike ime in that area because ndị be anyị si na ọkpana anaghị ekwe ọ na-ekwe na-eke nnụnụ. So ihe ga-emere send some of these surveillance achọpụta ndị ahụ ọ bụrụ ndị be m nwunyere si jide ya ha kwụọ ụgwọ agwọ fine
Thank you.